Welcome to the second day of the Decluttering Challenge 2.0, where we're creating new energy for the new year by decluttering our spaces. There is something about decluttering that creates space in your life for good things to come in. It creates this new energy, it creates this fresh start, and that is what this challenge is all about. If you want to keep up with the challenge, there is a challenge playlist, and I'm gonna have that linked down below so that you can catch up if you didn't watch yesterday's video. If you're here at the end of things, you can watch that playlist down below. So for today's challenge, we are decluttering makeup and products, and by products I mean pretty much anything that you put on your body. So that could be shampoo and conditioner, it could be dry shampoo, it could be deodorant. You're literally looking at any products that you apply to your body. So the very first step today is to decide on your guiding questions as you declutter your products. So we're going to be deciding on different guiding questions on a daily basis, because questions like, does this spark joy, 100% work when you're decluttering your wardrobe, for example. But when you take that question and apply it to your kitchen utensils, it's just not the same unless you really love kitchen items. I know people like you, I see you. And that's why every day you're going to be picking specific guiding questions for the specific area that is being looked at. On the screen, I'm going to have a list of questions that you can consider. Feel free to pick from these questions, or you can create your own guiding question. Pick 1 to 3 max questions. I have my guiding questions for makeup on a post-it note because my memory is absolute trash. My first question is, do I love using this? And my second question is, would I recommend this to a friend? I do pretty much the same face on a day-to-day basis. I find that Halloween is the hardest time when it comes to keeping like a small makeup collection, because you always need to buy new makeup for Halloween. I went as a fairy this year, a pixie, a garden fairy. Luckily, a lot of that stuff I can kind of use on my day-to-day, but there are just some things that I'm never gonna use again, and it feels so wasteful. The next step is to gather all of your stuff, all of your products in the one place. You're probably best, on reflection, to do this on the floor. Maybe put out a tarp or put out some plastic bags so that you don't make things messy. As you go to do this, you might be thinking, I really don't want to get all of my products out. Instead, I'm just gonna take a quick look in my cupboards, my cabinets, and just get rid of things that way. To which I would say, do what you want, but that will not be as impactful as getting your things out of their homes and looking at them in a new light. We are taking this challenge seriously. This is a thorough declutter, and this extra step really does make a bigger difference than you realize. Try organizing your products into categories after you've gotten them all out of their homes, just to break things up for your mind. That way the process of decluttering doesn't feel quite so overwhelming. The next step is to actually start decluttering using your guiding questions. So I've laid all of my products out on the coffee table, as well as over here and on the plastic bag over there. Products that I bought for Halloween are things like this. Where is a white liquid liner that I probably won't use again. Glittery lip gloss that I probably wouldn't use on a day-to-day basis. But other than that, I use most of my makeup on a day-to-day basis. I started with my makeup, looking at each item one by one, and asking my guiding question for each product. I am a shocker with makeup and products, particularly because I often will buy specific products for specific needs with high hopes, then I'll use them and realize that they don't do what I want them to do. But then I feel guilty about spending money on something and immediately discarding it or donating it. So instead, I keep these bottles of things around that I don't use. Here are the things that I'm getting rid of. This just doesn't work for me, and I usually love and adore Bare Minerals. Most of their products are great, but it's just not for me. I don't use this blush anymore. I thought this would be much pinker than it is because I was going for that real like outer worldly look with my pixie makeup. This is way too oily for my already oily eyelids. The whole point of it was to stop my eyelids being so oily, but it didn't quite work. This also is really, really oily, and it gives me a really shiny look. And this is a pencil for a gel liner that was supposed to be really good on oily eyelids, and it was not. It was surprisingly difficult to declutter that makeup. I know it didn't look like very much, but making those decisions was really hard. I always see people with fairy makeup, like they just do fairy makeup for day-to-day life, and I'm like, oh, that looks so cute. I want to do that. Would I ever? I don't know. But I admire it, and I like having it there, but yeah, I don't think it's something that I would actually do on a day-to-day basis. Now for all of the less fun products, FYI. My fake tan, I genuinely don't know how it happens, but it just gets on everything. I swear I put it in there and it'll have a lid. I don't even remember putting fake tan in amongst these products, but this is just what happens. This is sincerely the best lazy girl hair treatment. You just put it in when your hair's wet. It makes your hair so soft. And it's vegan and cruelty free, which we love. I'm also gonna clean this stuff down as we go. because we don't need to be putting that back into the cupboard. So this is the to-go pile. A lot of these products were actually expired and never realized. This is expired, that had barely anything in it. This is the retinol from The Ordinary, which I will never use because I found out apparently it's not very high quality. These are some like, I'm not sure what these are, maybe samples or something. This is an atrocious instant fake tanner that just is terrible. A lot of stuff that I would never use again. I realized these questions weren't really the greatest of questions for hygiene products, things like baby powder, that's more so Luke's, but were very helpful for decluttering makeup. Now, take some time to create an even bigger fresh start by cleaning out the areas where your products previously lived. The cabinet under our sink where all of the products that I have live genuinely gets filthy, and I still don't understand how. I use fake tan and for whatever reason it coats the entire cabinet, but I don't know why. Regardless, this cabinet needed a solid scrub clean. It looked so much better once I had gone through and given it a proper clean, ready to put all of my products back in. Now, take some time to organize all of the items that you have left back into their homes. Take this as an opportunity to organize your things based on the way that your mind works. If you're not really sure where to start, I actually have a great video called 10 Ways to Organize Your Life. I'm gonna have that linked up here and down below. It gives you some tips on how I organize my space, the way that my mind works, and I think it will spark some inspiration in some of you and make you think a bit more about how your mind works when it comes to where you put your things. Two things to keep in mind are, firstly, store vertically. It is always so much easier to take things out and put things back when they're stored vertically. Secondly, store the things that you want to use in the open and next to the things that you also use regularly. So if you want to start putting on sunscreen, store it right next to where you have your toothbrush that you use every day. So I'm trying to reorganize my spaces as I go, not like in a crazy way, but just make things look a little fresh. Lately, my makeup tray's been feeling really messy, and I recently grabbed this glass. It's just from H&M, and it's one that I would never use because it has the gold ring around it. And even though I love that, and I would use it, but it's not dishwasher friendly, so I just don't have the patience to be washing all of my glasses by hand. I want to start putting all of my products like that in similar glasses, but I've got to go and get some first. Storing things vertically is always so much easier for me. I think it's easy to get things out, easy to put things back, things look more organized. So I'm gonna organize that a little bit now. It won't stay like this forever, but this, more so from like an ease of use perspective, is so much better. Like just grabbing things out of these glasses will be so much better. And then having to organize them like in a line here. It probably does look more organized when they're all lying flat, but it doesn't stay organized for very long and it always feels disorganized, if that makes sense. So I've sort of just got one glass for all of my eye related things, and then I've got one glass for anything lip related, and then over here my brushes, I've got this style of thing here, and then I've even got my little beauty blenders in a, what is this, like an avocado dish? I'm not sure, there's probably a name for it. And then all my other stuff just floating around. So this is how the shelves are looking. We've kind of got like tools on top, but there's space for products to fill in, so it's not totally overstuffed. And then on the bottom are all of the products and like medical creams, these things, band-aids, skincare. These are like special skincare products that only come out if I'm doing like more of a self-care-y time. There's some wax strips, there's some of Luke's stuff, some soap. That's day 2 of the challenge done. I'm already feeling so good about this challenge. I'm feeling really glad that I took it on. I feel like this is gonna be really good for me. You have reached the end of the second day of this challenge. If you have completed this day of the challenge, you're doing better than most people, I guarantee it. I'm so proud of you. Tomorrow we're going to be decluttering your decor, which I am so excited for. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button, that way you can keep up to date. If you want to watch the rest of the challenge, see what other videos have gone up, I'm gonna have that playlist on the screen. I appreciate you so very much, and I will see you soon. Tomorrow, even.